So, hi everyone, and thank you for joining me. So, today I want to share with you what comes from sometimes walking a spiritual path in a world that doesn't always understand. So, if you've found your way here and you're listening, you likely know this feeling, the sense of living between two realities. Now, there is the world that everyone else seems to inhabit. There is deadlines, there is mortgages, social pressures, the endless cycle of doing and achieving. And then there's this other side of the world that has opened up for you for whatever reason, where deeper meaning always pulses beneath the surface, where you feel held by something vast and loving, where you know with every fiber of your being that there is so much more in this world than what meets the eye. Now, living between the two worlds, it's one of the most challenging and sacred aspects of awakening. So today I want to speak about what it's really like to see clearly in a world that often chooses not to look, to feel sacred while still needing to function in the mundane. And this comes from my own journey through the confusion, the loneliness, and the beautiful struggle of honoring the spiritual truth while still showing up for life's practical demands. And then I want to guide you into something that has transformed my relationship with this paradox, learning not just to survive between the two worlds, but to thrive as a bridge between them. Now, this is my truth and my understanding. Just take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't serve you. Just remember, we're all finding our way home, and there's no right or wrong. So there have been moments on this path when I felt profoundly alone, not just lonely, but more like existentially isolated, as if I was seeing and feeling realities that others either couldn't access or didn't want to acknowledge. Perhaps you know this feeling. You begin to see through what ancient wisdom calls Maya or illusion, the veil that makes us believe that the material world is all there is. And then you start sensing deeper currents beneath everyday's life's surfaces and activities. You feel the web connecting all things and the presence of something sacred breathing through the ordinary. And suddenly, so many things that once seemed important, even made you happy or excited, the endless accumulation, maybe even the status games, the pursuit of security, control, not necessarily wrong, but hollow. But here's what, in my experience, spiritual books didn't prepare me for: that I still have to live in this world. Bills still have to be paid. I still have to tend to relationships. And work demands your presence. You can't simply float away into this blissful consciousness and abandon your human responsibilities. So you find yourself in this difficult position, seeing through the illusion while still needing to function within it. You're like an actor in a play now. who must deliver their lines with conviction. Now, one of the most challenging aspects has been a very specific kind of loneliness. And it's absolutely not the absence of friends or people, but the challenge of sharing experiences that feel too sacred or even too subtle for words. Now, how do you tell someone that you spent your morning meditation dissolved in universal love, and then you found yourself an hour later, maybe in a meeting, feeling like you're speaking two different languages? How do you describe your inner state? The moments in your life where you felt divine presence, to someone who may only see this as a coincidence. Now, there's an isolation that comes with recognizing magic in a world that insists everything is mechanical. Feeling guided by an invisible force in a culture, in a society that can only trust what can be measured and controlled. Yet I've learned this loneliness isn't evidence that something is wrong, and it's often proof that something is profoundly right. It possibly means you're waking up. It means you're beginning to see beyond the surface, and that seeing changes everything. Perhaps my deepest challenge has been navigating what feels like a complete rewiring of how I approach life itself. Now, most of us are conditioned to believe we are in control, and with sufficient effort, planning, and willpower, we can bend reality to our desires. Now, spiritual awakening has a way of gently dismantling this illusion. And again, it's a deeply, deeply, deeply personal experience. So whichever way you are experiencing this, you begin to recognize how much happens beyond your control. You sense larger forces at play, deeper patterns unfolding. And you may even sense an intelligence far more vast than your individual will that's orchestrating this existential dance that we're all in. And this often terrifies the ego. And when I say ego, I mean mind, conditioning, what I've been taught, what I've grown up with. Keeping it very simple. So there is a part of me that's terrified of this losing control. Now, the part of us convinced us that it's running the show, and only if it gets what it wants, only if this, and this falls in place, life will be complete, I'll be happy, I'll be safe. So it would rather control and suffer than surrender to something it cannot understand, which makes perfect sense. But surrender isn't passive resignation, and this, I feel, is one of spirituality's great misunderstandings. True surrender is learning to flow with life rather than wrestle with it. It's becoming a conscious participant in something greater than fighting to be the sole author of your story. I have had to learn how to discover sacred purpose within life's most ordinary demands. Because the truth is, my truth at least, that we don't transcend being human. We learn to be more fully and consciously human. This means bringing spiritual understanding into work, relationships, and daily responsibilities. It means recognizing sacred service, maybe in paying bills, showing up wherever you're placed by life with full presence, showing up in all your relationships with full presence, and offering genuine kindness to strangers. So this path is not about escaping the world. It's about becoming a conduit for love to enter the world. One moment, one breath, and one choice at the time. Now let's shift from discussing this experience to actually living it. Take a moment now to arrive fully in your body, in this sacred space that we are creating together. Now you can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and as you breathe, just feel yourself here in the physical form. In this material world that is also mysteriously infused with the divine. I want you to sense life in your body right now. And breathe in a way that honors both these truths. You are spirit expressing itself through matter. Your consciousness dancing as form. And both aspects are equally real, equally sacred, and very deserving of your love. At this stage, if you feel comfortable, you can soften your gaze or close your eyes, whatever feels right for you. Now feel your body breathing itself, your heart beating without your interference. Notice how spirit animates matter and how the invisible moves through the visible. How you are the place where these worlds meet. Now you've never had to choose between being spiritual and being human, because you are the essence of both. In this moment, I'm sensing life in my body. I'm sensing myself as spirit residing in this physical vessel. And I'm honoring not just the divine in me, but also where I've been placed. Also, this body, this family, this job, these relationships, whatever I have in my material world, I honor that. Now bring to mind something from your daily life that feels burdensome or mundane for you. Perhaps work, household tasks, or any other routine obligations. Something that your spiritual mind might judge as, this is not elevated enough, this is not spiritual enough for me. Just bring that thing into your mind. Hold this in gentle awareness and notice any tension, any resistance, any story about it being separate from the sacred. Now, softly expand your perspective. I want you to now feel into the deeper truth that consciousness is present everywhere. The divine excludes nothing, and even this ordinary experience is happening within the field of infinite love. Consciousness is present everywhere. The divine excludes nothing. And even this ordinary experience is happening within the field of infinite love. Can you sense maybe how this seemingly burdensome, boring, mundane thing in your life is actually part of the great sacred unfolding? This too is held within the mystery of existence. You're not trying to make it feel spiritual. You're simply recognizing the holiness, the sacredness that was already there. If I truly trust divine order, then this too is in divine order. Now feel how your body is receiving these words. Now, imagine yourself as a living bridge. I have one foot rooted in the world of form. So one part of my life is my responsibilities, my relationships, practical demands. The other foot is planted in the realm of spirit. I have no idea why this world opened up for me in this incarnation. Whatever your reasons were, or your reason is, or your reason was for you to explore this, you're here now. So your other foot is in the realm of spirit. You have either sensed the presence of something bigger in your life, you've had a mystical experience, whatever the reason may be, your connection to something greater, your sense of deeper meaning, and your knowing of the mystery is present. One foot right now, responsibilities, relationship, practical demands, and the other foot, deeper meaning, my connection to something greater. Now you don't have to choose which world to inhabit, because you are the bridge connecting them. Feel that now. I want you to feel yourself in this between space, the holy ground where heaven touches earth. And this is not a place of conflict. It's a sacred intersection where integration happens. From this bridge, I can bring conscious awareness to my material tasks. From this bridge, I also make sure that I have the resources, time, and the support that I need to spend time with things that I value, that I care about. I can infuse ordinary moments with presence. I can serve awakening consciousness by being authentically me. This is me right now, honoring both worlds in my body, and I'm seeing myself as the bridge between the two. There is no conflict. I don't have to choose one over the other. Now, one of my greatest discoveries has been the relief of releasing the need to understand everything. Everything that you've read, that you believe in, that you follow, is just a pointer. It may take you to your truth, but it's not your truth. And once I realize this, I can release the need to understand everything. The spiritual mind or the spiritual ego wants to figure it all out. You need a complete map of reality to know with certainty what's true. But what if the mystery is meant to remain mysterious? And what if your role is not to decode the universe, but to trust it? And I'll say this again, what if your role is not to decode the universe, but to trust it? What if simply acknowledging I don't know is a doorway to deeper knowing? Now I want you to feel what it might be like to release the exhausting burden of needing to understand everything. Whatever questions you have in your mind, even on your spiritual path, just let yourself rest in this vast and loving unknowing. Allow yourself to be guided by something larger than your individual comprehension. Now just receive my words. I don't know how this all works, but I trust it's working through me, as me, for my highest good. I don't know how all this works, but I trust it's working through me, as me, and for my highest good. Now, from this place of surrender, notice that right action doesn't disappear, it transforms. Instead of forcing your way through life, you learn to flow with its deeper current. It's paying attention to what life is asking of you in each moment and responding from your deepest truth, rather than from the fear of control. What it might be like to move through your day with this quality of trust. So you're tending to your responsibilities, not from obligation, but as expressions of love. Not because you have to, but because it's how you serve the greater unfolding. Now, even when this path feels solitary, you are still part of something larger, and across the universe, across the world, souls are wrestling with the same questions, learning to see with awakening eyes, navigating the sacred challenge of being conscious in an often unconscious world. Feel into this truth now, that even though I may not see it, I am held by an invisible community of seekers, supported by those who understand this journey's joys and struggles. And when you feel most alone, remember you're connected to countless others walking the same path. Your questions, your loneliness, and your breakthrough moments, they're all part of a larger awakening happening through individual hearts like yours. Now let your awareness rest in the simple miracle of being alive right now. Feel the breath moving through you. Sense the aliveness in your hands, in your feet, the tingling in your body. Notice the consciousness knowing itself through your unique perspective. And this moment, exactly this one, is where the sacred and the ordinary dissolve into each other. You don't need to go anywhere or become anyone else to touch the divine. It's here, now, alive as your existence. You don't need to go anywhere or become anyone else to touch the divine. It's here, right now, alive as your existence. Now, the saying that you are a soul having a human experience, you reside in this physical body. There are certain experiences you'll go through in your journey. Some the mind may say pleasant, some the mind may say unpleasant. But all of this is still in divine order. See the world from that lens now. None of this is personal. I'm exactly where I need to be. This is exactly how my journey was meant to unfold. And the moment I stop asking why and realize I'm here, I can be open to merging with this truth. I'll be closer to seeing what my truth is. Now, whatever insights, sensations, thoughts, feelings you may be having, that's your experience. And you can reflect on that. As we prepare to complete this journey together, take a moment to honor yourself for having the courage to walk between the two worlds. It takes tremendous strength to see beyond the veil while still dancing gracefully with daily life. And this courage, this willingness to live as the bridge is exactly what our world needs. People who hold multiple perspectives, who can bring ancient wisdom into contemporary challenges, and who can be living demonstrations that spirit and matter are not separate. As you now return to your day, to your night, carry this understanding in your cells. You don't have to choose between being spiritual and being practical. You are, and you always will be both. When you feel torn between the worlds, return here, be the bridge in your memory. Your very existence is proof that heaven on earth exists. Now take 3 conscious breaths, feeling yourself fully embodied, fully present, and fully alive in this world that pulses with divine present. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, knowing that wherever you go now, whatever you do, you walk on sacred ground. This path of living between the worlds isn't always comfortable, but it's always meaningful. Trust the journey, especially when you can't see where it's leading. You are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what serves your soul's evolution and higher purpose, and contributing exactly what the world needs through you now. So with that thought, thank you very much for joining me for this exploration, and Namaste.